Marvel fans, comic geeks, and all the nerds in between. My name is Megan, and today, usually I do a character breakdown or something like that, but today I want to talk about Secret Wars. Specifically, 2015 Secret Wars from Marvel Comics. So, there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of excitement because Doomsday's coming, and then the next year, which is next year, is Secret Wars. But I feel like a lot of people don't quite know what happens in Secret Wars, which is fine. Some people have read just the Secret Wars comic. Some people have read the entire event, which is a whole bunch of tie-ins, which I really think you should. And today I just want to give you the bare basics of what happens in Secret Wars. So as some of you know, there is more than one Secret Wars, and some of you will ask, why are you talking about the 2015 one versus the 1984 one? Well, they are of the same name, but they are vastly different. So with the 2015 Secret Wars, it has some of the best tie-ins of any comic book event. That's what I've always loved about it. There are so many tie-ins for Secret Wars, like with Magneto, with Ms. Marvel, Loki, Black Widow, Ant-Man, and that's not even close to half of them. If you want the full experience of this event, read the entire event, tie-ins included. You'll love it, I promise. But also something to note, 2015 Secret Wars is something magical that comics just can't really capture anymore. It was years into the making, as it served as the ending to Jonathan Hickman's Avengers, New Avengers, and Fantastic Four runs. In today's comics, I feel like events are a lot more common, with not as much build-up, or if any, behind them at all. I think someday we could get back there if a lot of publishers weren't so desperate to keep trying to catch lightning in a bottle. I understand this is a business, and money is their priority. But personally, I think we should seriously consider going event-free for a few years, let these comic runs breathe, and build up to an event if that's what we want. Alright, so that was my side quest of a rant. I'm very sorry. Anyways, back to Secret Wars. What is the 1984 Secret Wars about? The 1984 Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars comics was basically created with one big mission in mind: sell Mattel action figures. Yeah, before it became a major Marvel storyline, Secret Wars was essentially a 12-issue superhero commercial with a plot. Somewhat of a plot. The then editor-in-chief, Jim Shooter, helped coordinate an entire 12-issue series around Mattel's toy plants. The comic gave Mattel a way to introduce all kinds of new toys and accessories, including vehicles, playsets, new character designs, and upgrades. Most famously, Spider-Man's black suit. We all know the black suit. We all love the black suit. And Mattel wasn't just throwing darts at a board when it came to marketing. They actually did market research on young boys and discovered that two words got a particularly strong reaction: secret and wars. Secret Wars. So naturally, the title became Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. So basically, Mattel looked at the data and said, apparently kids like secrets and fighting. Excellent. We have our billion-dollar vocabulary. What started as a toy-selling strategy ended up becoming one of Marvel's most famous crossover events, and accidentally gave Spider-Man one of his most iconic costume changes in the process. So while it is very different from the 2015 Secret Wars, don't get me wrong, it's still a baller crossover. Let's dive into 2015 Secret Wars. That's enough talking, I'm very sorry. So, the main Secret Wars comic started in Free Comic Book Day 2015, Secret Wars in May of 2015, and lasted all the way to January of 2016. The multiverse was going through it. It was collapsing, and the Beyonders, also known as the Ivory Kings, were behind it. Their plan was to wipe out every reality at once by creating a Molecule Man in every universe, with all of them designed to explode their respective realities simultaneously. Because when you're destroying the multiverse, you might as well make it a spectacle. A time-traveling Dr. Doom, going by the mysterious name Rabam Alal, teamed up with the Molecule Man of Earth 616 to stop them. Their first plan was to kill the Molecule Men before they could do their jobs, but that turned out to be a terrible idea. Killing them early caused the multiverse to contract, and different realities started crashing into each other, and their Earths acting as the collision points. These catastrophic collisions became known as incursions. Pretty much everyone who mattered got involved in the Game of Worlds, including the Illuminati and the Cabal, but no matter what they tried, the incursions kept happening. Eventually, time ran out and the entire multiverse was down to just two realities, Earth 616 and Earth 1610. Meanwhile, somewhere outside the multiverse, Doctor Doom, Doctor Strange, and the Molecule Man were standing before the Beyonders. The Beyonders demanded to know who dared stand before them. And Doom basically stepped forward and said, "You're looking at him." Back on Earth 1610, Nick Fury was putting the finishing touches on the final incursion. He soon sent the entire S.H.I.E.L.D. fleet towards Earth 616, where they arrived over Manhattan and immediately started firing. Naturally, the heroes of Earth 616 weren't exactly thrilled about this and started fighting back. At the Baxter Building, Mr. Fantastic was finishing the Life Raft, their last-ditch plan to save at least a small portion of humanity from the destruction of both universes. The Iron Man of Earth 1610 deployed the Iron Man 6 weapon, but the battle started swinging in Earth 616's favor when the Guardians of the Galaxy and Cyclops' Sentinels arrived to help. Doc Green and She-Hulk also showed up on Earth 1610 and stormed the Triskelion. Once the Triskelion fell, the Maker unleashed the Children of Tomorrow. They destroyed the ship carrying Earth's resurrection team, forcing Mr. Fantastic to launch the Life Raft immediately. Manifold began teleporting heroes aboard, including Spider-Man, Star-Lord, Thor, Captain Marvel, and Cyclops, who had recently used a Phoenix egg to become the Phoenix again. Because personally, I think becoming a cosmic firebird right before the universe ends is perfectly reasonable. The Cabal and the Maker also managed to build their own Life Raft using stolen designs from the original, which you cannot say they're not inventive. As the Earth 616 Life Raft approached the center of the incursion, it suffered a hull breach. The section containing the Richards family broke away and drifted off. Sue Storm, aka the Invisible Woman, tried to reconnect it but failed, and that section was destroyed. The rest of the Life Raft teleported away just as Earth 616 and Earth 1610 finally collided and were destroyed. Elsewhere, in a completely different world, a bunch of alternate versions of Thor gathered at Doomguard to watch the Thor of Higher Avalon officially join their ranks. The Thors weren't just a weird multiversal hammer convention, they were basically a police force serving their god and boss, Doctor Doom. Old Man Thor and the new Thor headed out to deliver some Doom-approved justice. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Utopolis, the Foundation discovered one of the Life Rafts partially buried in the ground. After retrieving Mr. Sinister from Bar Sinister, the Thors dragged him back to Castle Doom for trial. Sinister was found guilty of allying himself with King Hyperion, the Baron of Utopolis, but instead of simply accepting his punishment, he demanded his right to face his accuser in the arena. His accuser was Brian Braddock of Higher Avalon, who confronted Sinister and promptly got beaten. Before Sinister could finish him off, Doom stopped the fight. Doom then confronted Brian, who apparently had helped the Kingdom of Manhattan plan a rebellion against him. Then Jamie Braddock revealed that he was actually the traitor. Doom sent him to the Shield, where he would be punished by being exiled to the Deadlands, one of the most dangerous places in all Battleworld. After the trial, Valeria Von Doom told Sheriff Stephen Strange about the Life Raft the Foundation had discovered. This Life Raft's readings suggested that this thing was from before the beginning of time, basically before Doom created this world. The Thors went to investigate the raft, and the Cabal suddenly emerged from it and immediately killed Old Man Thor. When Thanos demanded that one of the Moloids tell them where they were, the little guy revealed the horrifying answer. They were on Battleworld. Back in Castle Doom, Sheriff Strange was going through reports of minor incidents across Battleworld when Doom interrupted him and basically said, "Who cares about the paperwork? Something is wrong with you." The two began talking about Battleworld and what had existed before it, but Strange was interrupted by news from Doomguard. Strange traveled to Utopolis to investigate the Life Raft and Old Man Thor's death. After sending the Thors to scout for the strangers, Strange discovered that someone else was still inside the raft, the Spider-Man of Earth 1610. Meanwhile, Sue Storm met with Emperor Doom in one of the Castle Doom's towers. Victor surprisingly opened up and admitted that he felt like he was failing as a god. He didn't think he was inspiring his people properly, and even though Battleworld was the perfect world he'd always wanted, he believed he was its one major flaw, Doom himself. He even pointed to the scars on his face, which he still hadn't been able to cure. Sue was not having any of it. She rejected Victor's self-pity, praised him, and suggested that if he wanted to become closer to his people, he should actually, talk to them. Strange brought Spider-Man and the Thor of Higher Avalon to his secret Sanctum Sanctorum, the hidden Isle of Agamotto. The island was essentially a memorial to the Lost World. Strange revealed that he discovered another vessel similar to the raft the Cabal had arrived in 3 years earlier. When they opened it, the survivors from Earth 616 emerged. Strange was understandably thrilled to see people from his old universe again, especially fellow Illuminati members Black Panther and Mr. Fantastic. The survivors were shocked to learn that 8 years had passed since the final incursion. During that time, Doom had created Battleworld, a massive patchwork planet made from pieces of the worlds destroyed by the incursions. What was even stranger was that nobody living there remembered their lives before Battleworld existed. Night fell over Utopolis and the Cabal gathered around a fire. They didn't get to enjoy it for long because the Thors showed up and attacked them. While the fighting began, Sheriff Strange explained the truth to the newly arrived survivors. When Doom, Strange, and the Molecule Man confronted the Beyonders, they managed to kill them. But Strange didn't take their power. Doom did. Victor Von Doom used that power to construct Battleworld from the remains of the destroyed multiverse. Then, the Thor of Higher Avalon's hammer started glowing, meaning he was being summoned into battle. Doom was informed about the fight with the Cabal, and Strange and Earth 616 heroes joined the battle, helping the Thors turn things around. Doom initially refused to get involved until he spotted Mr. Fantastic. The moment he saw Reed, Victor teleported straight to Utopolis and demanded that everyone recognize his authority. Cyclops decided to test Doom's patient and attacked him. Doom killed him almost effortlessly. It was quick, easy work. To stop Doom from murdering literally everyone else, Steven used his magic to teleport the newcomers away. Once the Cabal and Earth 616 heroes were gone, Doom confronted Strange for disobeying him. Strange then accused Doom of being afraid of Reed Richards, which was apparently the exact wrong thing to say. So Doom killed him. The next day, Battleworld held a funeral for Stephen Strange in Doomstadt. Doom kept the real cause of Strange's death very much a secret. After nightfall, he ordered Valeria to use the Foundation's resources to track down the scattered interlopers, though he refused to explain why. Once Valeria left, Doom opened a portal beneath a Molecule Man statue in his garden and went downstairs to meet Owen Reese, the Molecule Man. Doom told Owen that Strange was dead, which brought up memories of their battle against the Beyonders. Doom explained that their original plan to stop the Beyonders had failed. The Molecule Men had been created too perfectly, so killing them early was still causing the multiverse to die. They changed tactics and began capturing the Molecule Men instead. When Doom finally confronted the Beyonders, he unleashed the countless Molecule Men he'd collected, using them to kill the Beyonders while Owen acted as a conduit to absorb their power and transfer it to Doom. Owen then gave Doom one very ominous warning. With Strange dead, Doom had probably started something that could eventually unravel everything and take everyone down with it. Back in Doomstadt, the Foundation began searching for the scattered interlopers. Jane Foster had infiltrated the Thors, Black Panther and Namor ended up in Egyptia, Captain Marvel was captured by the forces of Bar Sinister, Black Swan appeared in Doomstadt, Thanos was teleported to the other side of the shield, while Star-Lord and Miles Morales ended up in the Kingdom of Manhattan. 3 weeks later, Battleworld was falling apart politically. Several kingdoms had erupted into open rebellion, and a mysterious figure called the Prophet had started building an army against Doom. Victor ordered some of the most loyal barons to deal with the threat. Of the interlopers, only Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive had been captured, while Black Swan offered to help Doom. Meanwhile, the Foundation discovered the source of Doom's power and told Valeria, who was already becoming suspicious of her father. Somewhere on Battleworld, the two Reed Richards teamed up and began working on a way to defeat Doom. Earth 616 Reed didn't want to kill Victor, while the Earth 1610 version had absolutely no such hesitation. The Reeds also started investigating the source of Doom's power. They sent both Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Miles Morales, to infiltrate Castle Doom with a device that could lead them to the power source, which, if you'll remember, was hidden beneath the statue of Molecule Man. Inside the castle, the Spider-Men encountered Valeria. She refused to come with them because she was terrified of what she might discover about her father. She did, however, agree to keep quiet about their presence if they answered one question. Had anyone from the life raft killed Stephen Strange? Peter told her the truth. No one from the life raft killed Stephen Strange. The Spider-Men then opened a trapdoor beneath the Molecule Man statue and descended into the depths, where they found Owen Reese. Owen's first question wasn't exactly about saving reality. He wanted to know if they'd brought him something to eat, which is real. Miles handed him a burger that he'd been carrying in his pocket, which is kind of gross, but whatever. After eating, Owen revealed the truth. He was the literal battery powering Doom's godlike abilities. Meanwhile, Namor and Black Panther reached Strange's hidden Isle of Agamotto using the key of Agamotto he'd given them. After identifying themselves to a projection of the deceased Sorcerer Supreme, they were granted access to some of Strange's most powerful possessions, including the Siege Courageous and an Infinity Gauntlet that only worked inside Doomstat. Meanwhile, Thanos had been captured by the Hellrangers and began communicating with the Sentinel structure that made up the shield. The shield turned out to be a gigantic alternate version of the Thing, Ben Grimm. Thanos convinced him to reject Doom and rise up, causing the entire shield to fall. The Prophet was eventually revealed to be none other than Maximus. If you don't know who Maximus is, that is Maximus Boltagon, who also goes by Maximus the Mad, who is from the Inhumans. He marched his army toward Castle Doom, where some of Doom's strongest barons prepared to defend it. But betrayal was already brewing. Baron Sinister turned on the Goblin Queen, his fellow Baroness, only to be taken down by Baron Apocalypse. Then the Thors arrived as reinforcements, but not for Doom. Jane Foster had managed to convince the other Thors to turn against their god. Baron Maestro also joined the fight with an army of Worldbreakers, because apparently the battle needed even more ridiculously powerful people, and I'm not mad at it. The two Reeds continued scheming from the sidelines. Their plan was to use the chaos around Castle Doom to sneak inside and steal what they believed was the most valuable thing left from the multiverse. Meanwhile, Black Panther and Namor traveled to the Deadlands looking for reinforcements. Black Panther used his authority as the King of the Dead to convince the zombies there to join the rebellion against Doom. As the battle for Doomstat raged, Star-Lord transported the two Reeds to Castle Doom. The Thing, Ben Grimm, from the Shield also joined the fight and started destroying basically everything in his path. Franklin Von Doom tried to stop him by using his own Galactus. The Thing eventually surrendered after learning that the kid he was fighting was Sue Storm's son. Even giant multiversal battles apparently have limits when someone realizes, oh wait, I'm fighting a child. When the Reeds searched for Doom's power source, Star-Lord stayed behind to repair their ship. Black Swan showed up and attacked him, easily overpowering Quill and chasing him into Doom's throne room beneath Yggdrasil. Star-Lord then pulled out a splinter of Groot, stuck it into the magical tree. Yggdrasil immediately went full Groot, transforming into a giant Groot that proceeded to tear Castle Doom apart from the inside. Valeria and Sue watched their home collapse from the Castle Gardeners area before encountering the two Reeds, who were trying to reach the Molecule Man's chambers. Back on the battlefield, Thanos decided to take on Doom himself. It went about as well as you'd expect. Doom killed him with ease. Right afterward, the Siege Courageous opened and unleashed a massive horde of zombies. Once the zombies came through, Namor and Black Panther emerged, with T'Challa carrying the Infinity Gauntlet, and announced that Doom's reign was over. Doom tried to bargain with them, offering to rebuild Wakanda and Atlantis if they stopped fighting. They refused and attacked him anyways. They actually managed to take Doom down, but Victor simply regenerated from his own corpse because apparently even Death had gotten tired of dealing with him. He blasted T'Challa and Namor, killing Namor but leaving Black Panther alive. While Doom and T'Challa continued battling, the two Reeds, which is Mr. Fantastic and the Maker, reached the Molecule Man. Owen once again asked if they had brought something to eat. They had not. The Maker then betrayed Reed, trapping him inside a temporal bubble and basically complaining that he could not tolerate Reed's weakness. Unfortunately for him, Owen immediately sliced him apart and freed Mr. Fantastic. Black Panther's fight with Doom finally ended when Victor crushed the Infinity Gauntlet. After defeating T'Challa, Doom realized the entire battle had been a distraction. He teleported back to the Molecule Man statue and entered Owen's chambers, where he attempted to kill Reed with a snap of his fingers. Except nothing happened. Owen asked Doom if he had brought anything to eat. Doom said no. And this poor man, just so hungry. And just like that, Owen declared that Reed and Doom were on equal footing. Reed and Doom then went at each other in a massive fight. Reed told Victor that, despite everything he'd accomplished, he could have done better. Doom had been so terrified of losing Battleworld that he'd held on to it too tightly. Doom accused Reed of thinking he could have done a better job if he had Doom's powers. Reed admitted that, yeah, he probably could have. Doom agreed, and that was enough. The Molecule Man transferred the Beyonder's power from Doom to Reed, and the process destroyed Battleworld. As everyone scrambled to survive the collapse, Black Panther desperately held on to the reality gem from his Infinity Gauntlet as everything around him turned white. Then somehow, everything came back. T'Challa found himself in the restored Marvel Universe. 8 months later, Miles Morales was living in a regular Marvel Universe rather than his destroyed Ultimate Universe. He remembered leaving the Molecule Man's chamber in Battleworld with Peter when Owen had told him he owed him one for a burger. Apparently, that burger was the greatest investment Miles has ever made. Elsewhere, the Future Foundation had returned and was busy mapping and documenting the newly reborn multiverse. Reed Richards used the Beyonder's power, given to him by Molecule Man, to rebuild reality with help from Franklin Richards and Owen himself. Reed later told Sue that he'd finally learned the difference between living and dying wasn't simply avoiding loss. It was learning how to manage fear. You can't be so afraid of losing the things you love that you end up holding on to them so tightly that you destroy yourself. Reed had once believed in entropy, but now he believed in expansion, resilience, and the idea that everything lives. And somewhere in Latveria, Dr. Doom returned to his castle. He removed his mask, looked at his face, and realized his scars were gone. And then he left. And that was the last page of Secret Wars. So yeah, a whole bunch happens. It's a lot to get through, but it is such a good event. And if you're going to do it the right way and read all the tie-ins too. Make it a whole event for yourself. It's fantastic. So yeah, that is my breakdown of Secret Wars. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked this episode, and I hope you have a marvelous day.